We kicked off the day with a health and safety briefing. We signed a safety register and met our first aider. We kitted out all our volunteers with high-vis jackets and all the tools they'd need. John outlined the plan for the day. We covered the northeast quarter of King's Cross and we started in Cynthia Street and Donegal Street. We had a dozen people on the day from different bits of King's Cross, and as we worked it was definitely a case of many hands making light work. We'd agreed that each tree would be looked at and assessed so we could prune it in the best way possible, but we were equally as keen to tidy up around the tree bases, digging them over, giving them a really fresh and loved look. Working on the trees around the Elizabeth Garrett Anderson School was really lovely because so much effort's been put into the grounds there now to green it for the community. Each street has been planted differently, and on Rodney Street there's a mixture of mature, or more mature trees anyway, and young saplings to look after. Turning onto the western end of Winford Road, there are some lovely silver birches in need of care. John Ashwell had fundraised years ago for the majority of the trees planted here. You can see him with Pink Sarah there. He was able to specify in some cases which trees would be planted where. And in Fife Terrace, which is a little road just off Winford Road that you can see here, he managed to get an entire olive grove planted there. I think he's particularly proud of those, and it is really lovely. We moved through each street together as a team, so each of us carrying tools and carrying all the waste bags with all the pruning materials and the muck and bullets that we'd picked up from the tree pits. There was quite a lot of it. We got some local attention, which was lovely. A few people stopped and chatted. This little lad was fantastic. His dad said to him, "We love the trees, don't we?" And he turned to his dad and he said, "Yes, Dad, we love the trees. They give us air," which we thought was entirely appropriate. We're hoping they'll join us next time. Turning onto Calshot Street, most of the trees there were more mature, so there was a little less to do in those instances. Coming down Collier Street towards North Down Street, again a lot of mature trees. Here on North Down Street, this particular vista of 3 silver birches all in a row, which framed the building behind, was again a John Ashwell design point, which I think works brilliantly. We were able to remove the tree stakes and the protection around the trees because they're now mature enough to be able to stand up on their own. And although it was a very difficult task and it entailed a lot of clipping, a lot of digging, a lot of pulling, we were eventually able to get rid of all that wire mesh and of all those poles. And once they were freed, those trees now look just glorious in front of that building. Further down North Down Street towards the junction with the Calais, there were a lot more evergreen trees, so the pruning became harder because there was so much foliage to cut up. As we crossed over the Calais onto the other side of North Down Street, we get to some gorgeous trees again, but ones that have been looked after by people in that street, in particular by Pink Sarah. And you'll see planting in the tree pits along that street. There'll be bulbs coming up in spring, so do watch out for them. Here we're in New Wharf Road, right down the bottom towards Ice Wharf. Again, some young saplings to look after and some semi-mature trees. The tree pits quite large here, so a lot of digging over. As we turn into All Saints Street, the trees were semi-mature and in need of quite a lot of pruning because a lot of dead growth. And on the Calais, of course, we've got mature trees and we've also got some semi-mature trees. It's a long road and needed a lot of love and care. We did cover more roads than I'm mentioning here, but this is where we nearly finished up. We're on Railway Street by the big Regent Quarter development. Some of the trees there are due for replacement, but we were able to look after the ones that were there. So to finish off, just a few stills of the day. Just thank you to everybody that took part and everybody that supported us. A list of credits at the end.